Random Adventures of Rockman take 4 years. I apologize for the rain in the background, but I can't control Mother Nature, and she's gonna do what she's gonna do, and hopefully it's not too distracting. But if it is, it is what it is. But first order of business. If you remember, a few months back, there was a dude that shot up a LGBTQ club, and the details preceding the actual shooting are very haunting and downright scary. So I don't remember the shooter's name, and I don't look to remember it because fuck that guy. But apparently, about a year before that even happened, this dude got swatted. And he got swatted for threatening his grandparents and potentially making a bomb to blow up people. And the grandparents talk about how he had a history of threatening them and beating up the grandfather, and they were going to move to Florida, but the shooter said that it would interfere with his bomb making, and he held them hostage for a few hours before they agreed to stay in whatever town they was in. And the SWAT team came. The mother held him. He retreated to his mother's house, and the mother wouldn't give him up until the SWAT team eventually came. So this dude could have been under the jail like long before the LGBTQ club shooting happened, but the family was too scared to testify in a court of law, so the case had to be dismissed. And moving on to a lighter subject, as you may or may not know, I'm blind as shit, and that's why I may have a little bit of a problem trying to find the camera when I'm recording these episodes, but I went to an eye doctor 4 weeks ago, and my glasses and contacts are supposed to be ready by now, but it is what it is. But I get to the exam, right? And he takes a photo of my eyeballs, and then he asked me if I want to be dilated. I said no because I got to drive later. And then he said, "What type of contacts do you use?" I said, "1 a day." He said, "Oh, that makes sense. With eyes that dry, I wouldn't suggest using weekly or bi-weekly contacts either." Like, what the come on, bro. I'm giving you money and you can't just treat me, you can't talk to me nicely? Ugh. Okay, since I seen this trial from the beginning, I might as well see it to the end. So, in the Megan and Tory trial, there are two firm stances from the defense and the prosecution. The defense alleges that Megan and Tory were in an intimate relationship while he was also talking to the best friend. And at Kylie Jenner's party, after they got kicked out or left or whatever, or Tory told Kelsey about him and Meg, and then they get into an altercation, and somebody reaches for a gun, and Megan gets shot by accident. That's the defense. Yeah, Tory's the defense. That's the defense's argument, which seems like a pretty tame stance to take, since there was gunshot residue on Kelsey and Tory. And the reason that Kelsey and Megan got into an altercation was because outside of Tory, there was also Ben Simmons and the baby, the defense alleges. And on the prosecution side, they're saying that Tory shot Meg because Tory shot Meg because Megan was making fun of his artistry, which, okay, I guess I can see that because artists are very sensitive about their craft, so that could be a plausible situation as well. And I would say that I do not know what happened, and what I'm saying is just what I think is the more likely scenario, because there was a video from a guy who may or may not have been the bodyguard in the van with them, who told his side of the story on some random radio station or podcast, saying that Tory's defense did happen, and Kelsey reached for a gun, and then Tory was trying to stop him, and the gun accidentally fired off and hit Meg in the foot. And I went back a little bit to Megan's foot injury just to try to get more angles into the case. And if you look at her heel and you look at the way that it got damaged, it looks like Megan wasn't even facing the van when she got shot. It looked like she was walking away, because it looked like the impact of the bullet hit the back part of her heel and then spread it out towards the front. So I do believe that this was an accident, but if it comes out that it wasn't, I'm not going to be out here trying to defend what people in the court of law said. And continuing switching the subject between dark and light, there was a story about 3 weeks ago about two women that went on a girls' trip to, I believe, Florida, and got pregnant on the girls' trip. And I say this to say that men and women, I understand, you're in a tropical location with a beach and sand, and the vibes are cool, and you may go to a club and drink a lot of alcohol, and your inhibitions just go away. But your inhibitions may go away, but try to be careful. Just, you don't know what a random stranger has. They can, outside of the STDs that you could maybe get, or potential just bad situations happening from interacting with complete strangers. Women especially, just, if you know that you're going to be out in the club and drinking and partying, which is nothing wrong with that whatsoever, but if you know that you're not going to be in the most controlled environment, at least prepare for the worst. Because would you want to look at your son like 10, 11 years later, they ask, "Where's my dad?" and you say, "I don't know, you got to find him. He was somewhere. We was out in Daytona just partying it up." Like, just at least keep a plan B. Alrighty, this is a bit of an older topic as well, but I just wanted to hit on it a little bit. So Gabrielle Union and Boosie brings up a quote that I heard a little that I heard a little while back, about how the internet brings the people that's supposed to be closer together further apart, and the people that are supposed to be further apart closer together. Because how many rooms do you think Boosie, D Wade, and Gabrielle Union are in at the same time? Like, they're in two completely different walks of life. And this Zaya Wade controversy, just, it all started from a misunderstanding, and it just kept going bigger and bigger up until the point where Boosie was just shooting at D Wade and Gabrielle Union, and then Gabrielle Union alleged that Boosie was gay, which seems pretty hypocritical if you have a daughter that's in the LGBTQ community and you're insulting a man by calling him a homosexual. Like, where is the line drawn? Where's the line drawn? Where is the line drawn? Where is the line drawn? And bringing it to other news, apparently the FBI reported that there were 7,000 hate crimes in 2021 in the United States, and that number is astronomically lower than the actual amount of hate crimes that have went on in the nation. Some reports saying that it could be up to 250,000 of hate crimes in 2021 alone. And the statistics were kind of alarming, because I knew that Caucasians would be at the top of the perpetrators for hate crimes, but I didn't expect it to be 60%. Like, that is a very high number, and for people that think that it leads to murder, it was only about 8%. 8% of the hate crimes that were actually murder. It was more of intimidation and physical assaults. It's kind of crazy when you think about it, just how many hate crimes are just going by in everyday life and they don't even get reported. And wrapping it up here, there is an update in the Donald Trump lawsuit to have a special master be appointed to review the documents that were seized in his Mar-a-Lago home half a year ago. Like, not recently, but anyways, a judge dismissed his lawsuit, saying that the special master was deemed unnecessary. And the more shocking thing was that it was just put in like a brief footnote. Like, usually when Donald Trump and Mar-a-Lago is put up, they put up the whole entire backstory, but it was literally just like a 2-minute read. So, do I think that Donald Trump is going to be arrested? I highly doubt it. I think he's going to be able to run for 2024, and I do believe that he is going to be president again. Just because of the lack of representation of candidates from both Democrats and Republicans, because I don't think Republicans are going to welcome Trump back with open arms, but if he's the only candidate that can go up against Joe Biden if he chooses to run again, then so be it, because they just want control of the White House. And with all that said, this was take 4 of Random Adventures of Rockman. Yerrr! Holla at you.